Here we have the inside of the Swift Bessacarr Cameo. If we firstly come to the main control panel just here, you will see that we have the main power button just here. So 12 volt off, 12 volt on. Beside this, we then have the water pump button. Whenever we turn the water pump on, if there is no water in the fresh water tank, it will let you know by sounding an alarm. To silence this, just press the view levels button. Also, by pressing this, it will give you a condition of the leisure battery. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. If we want to fill this fresh water tank, we just highlight the fill tank just here. This will then make the fill point on the outside of the caravan 12 volt live. We now have the control panel for the Aldi heating and hot water system. Power on just here. If we now press the menu button, it will bring up its basic functions. So we have the thermostat for the heating just here. Just literally pick whatever temperature you want it to be into the caravan using the plus and the minus. Next we have hot water. Whenever we fire the system up, as long as there is water in the boiler itself, it will start to heat it up. What we can do is press the plus just here and perform a boost on the boiler. This was mainly designed for if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other, or if you would just like a longer shower. If you do perform this boost and the heating's running, the heating will turn off. Next we have power source selection. So at the moment the system hasn't fired up because we haven't given it a power source. So we have a lightning strike here for main supply. We can run on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts, so just dependent of the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If we don't have main supply, we can run on gas, and what we can also do is run in dual fuel. This is extremely handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly. If we now press the spanner symbol, we have the settings menu, and within this we have clock set. This is handy to set if you are going to be using timers. We then have the night timer. Set the temperature just here at the top, and then set the timer underneath. So when you would like the night timer to come into operation, whether it's for all days of the week, and then when you would like it to end. Turn the timer on and off just here. After that, we then have the 24-hour timer, again on and off just here, and then set the timer in here. Then we have pump settings. Leave it set on thermal. We only want the circulation pump to run when it's needed. Leave the pump mode in auto, and then you can alter the pump level, but 2 is usually about the correct position to have it in. We then have what's known as antimicrobial. What we can do is make the boiler self-sanitize itself. So if you turn this on, you do have to have the night mode active as well. And then what will happen is the boiler will rapidly heat itself up in the night to kill off any bacteria that may be in it. Temperature offset basically for the thermostats. If you don't think they're quite correct, you can slightly adjust them. Key beeps on and off. Brightness of the screen. Language. Keypad lock. Handy if you do have children in the caravan to stop them from tampering. External start, you do have to have an additional SIM box added, and then you would be able to control the Aldi system via an app. Amp meter, so if you know how many amps the site is that you are on, you can pick it on here, and then it won't actually matter what you are running the system at. It will limit itself to avoid tripping. Service is more for the workshop, but it will let you know whatever is activated, and it will also give you temperatures of everything. If we now move over to the bench seat, we can actually go to the boiler itself. So the actual location for the Aldi boiler is just here. If we now lift up this section here, we can see the onboard water tank. We can also see the water pump and the surge dampener just here. If we now flap down the front, we can then see the two drain valves. So one to drain the actual onboard tank down, and the other one to drain the boiler down for winterization. And you'll also see this white switch just here. It does let you know how to do everything just here. So if we are going to be using the internal tank, we need to make sure that both valves are shut and that we turn the switch just here down like so. So the water pump will then feed off the internal tank. If we want to be using just the aqua roll, we just need to turn the switch back to here, and again have obviously both drain valves down. And then to drain the system, we just need to again make sure the switch is where it is now, and then flap up the two yellow levers to drain the system down. It does let you know how to fully winterize the caravan just here. Also in here we have the location for the Power Touch motor mover control board. If we now move across to the other bench seat, we have storage underneath here, but we also have, tucked just where my hand is here, the Sergeant alarm box. The PIR sensor just sits here, and with this alarm you have alarm fobs. Top one is just a torch. Then we have arm disarm, one beep armed, two beeps disarmed. We then have the awning light on and off, and then P stands for program. You can alter the characteristics of the alarm. You can put it into high wind mode or pet friendly mode. You can't accidentally do anything just by pressing the button. You do need to hold it down for an additional 10 seconds and then be looking at this PIR. In your book pack you will have a little pamphlet on this. If we now come to the overhead locker, this is where the consumer unit is located. So we have the 12 volt fuses just here. So if anything's not working on 12 volt, just come to check to see whether or not you've blown a fuse. They are numbered up and correspond on the sticker just here. Above we then have the trip switches, so we have the 3 individual MCBs, the main RCD and test button, and again labelled up and correspond on this part of the sticker. Isolator switches just here, so we have the isolator switch for the battery charger. Really we want this on because we want to be able to charge the leisure battery when we're hooked up to main supply, And again, we then have the isolator for the heating and hot water system on mains. Again, we want this on, or otherwise the Aldi control panel will throw up an error letting us know we do not have main supply. This one here that says reverse polarity will illuminate if that is connected to the caravan. You may find this on some continental sites. In the centre here we have full system shutdown, so if you're not using the caravan for long periods of time you can press this and this will stop any residual draw on the leisure battery. These buttons here are for the workshop mainly. If you just hit select it will give you a condition of the leisure battery. Beside the microwave we have the solar panel regulator. Whenever the solar panel is popping a charge into the batteries you will get a green light flashing just here. At the moment it will not be doing anything because I am doing the filming inside our workshop. This caravan is fitted with an electric hecky. So if we now get the remote we can open the roof just here. We can either let it fully open itself or we can stop it at any point just by pressing this one. And then to lower it again, just continue to hold and it will then pop it back down again. This particular hecky is not fitted with lights, so these two buttons do not do anything. We then have the microwave. It is always advisable to remove the plate for travel. We then have quick start just here, stop, and then all the usual power settings etc. just here. The Dometic fridge turns on and off just here. We're currently running on main supply with a little picture of the 2-pin plug. If I want to use on gas, just press the little flame. These particular units will automatically ignite themselves. And then lastly we have 12 volt maintain for when we're towing. So if at the moment I press this one, we're going to get a little red flashing error because we're currently not hitched up to a tow vehicle. This will also do this if you've tried to light it on gas and your gas has run out or your bottle's not turned on, etc. To allow it to attempt to fire itself up again, just press this button here and it will then reset. Temperature control just here. And then we have the freezer box, which is removable. There are clips on both sides. Above my head just here we have the Omni vent fan. Wind to put the roof vent up. Middle button turns on, and then we have arrows out for extraction, arrows in for cooling, and variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all roof vents are down for travel. Hob just here, so we have the electric hot plate, like the microwave works on mains electricity. On and off just here. Do be careful, there's no light that lets you know it's in operation. Everything else is gas, and it's push in, twist and push the igniter. grill beneath. And then the oven. Beneath the oven you will find some storage space, but also this is where the plug is plugged in for the electric hot plate. Beside it, again, we have storage, but we also have some of the gas isolation taps just here as well. They are colour coded and correspond on here. They can all be left in the open position. They are more for maintenance than anything else. I always say smell gas, go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. If we now come to the washroom, we have the freestanding table just in here. Shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is clipped back for travel. Basin. And the cassette toilet. To open to the cassette, just slide here. Push to flush on top. Level indicator just here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. And then close back up again. Do make sure that this is closed before trying to remove the cassette, or otherwise it will not come out. In the wardrobe, we have the television aerial just here. So to raise the mast, just undo the collar and then push it up and get it into the position that you require. It's currently in the H position, so horizontal. We can flip it to vertical for additional tuning just by turning the tail if required. Do make sure that it's back in the horizontal position and down for travel. The actual digital amplifier for it is just here, on and off on the top. Control the boost just here. Also in here we have the header tank for the Aldi heating. Just make sure that the fluid level is between the minimum and the maximum. Always take your reading once you're up to temperature, as it will expand in the tank. You can top this up yourself if required. Just remove the collar, undo here, remove, and then pop in the top up solution. Do make sure that you are using the correct Aldi solution.